can see on your screens. That's her on the floor. She was being beaten, and she had to defend herself. She also had this pepper spray on her.
Oh,
Trying to
really?
yes, she warded off the people who were trying to beat her up. So you can see on your screens, she was assaulted by these unscrupulous people. Now, one issue that I realized was the fact that despite the enormousness of the police personnel there, the presence, the heavy security personnel there, we thought that maybe they could have handled the case better than what we saw. They allowed the people to push their way through the police barricade they had made.
No. But if you say they are allowed,
Yeah.
I don't think we must entertain that, because why are you saying the police are loud? So if you say that, then you are saying that it's a deliberate attempt.
It wasn't a deliberate attempt.
So let's leave that. Well, the place turned chaotic, and all you saw was that the people were on Hawa Kumsin.
Yes.
But actually, you don't know what happened before they were on Hawa Kumsin. So let's play safe here.
All right, sure. So when later after this initial chaos, we realized that the Defense Minister, Dr. Omani Boama, and also the Interior Minister, Murtala Mubarak, also entered. And then we engaged them, we asked them what could be done to salvage the situation. And Dr. Omani Boama told us, some of the journalists asked him, is it necessary for the soldiers to be deployed and try and calm things down? And he was like, it wasn't really necessary, because the police were capable, capable of handling the situation. And that has been the situation. But that particular spot has been a very chaotic place. And also one problem that we saw was the assault on a journalist. Previously, there was a GH1 journalist who was assaulted.
It was the same place?
No, that was in the same place. But in that police station that I was stationed, a Joy News reporter was assaulted, a lady. She was just taking coverage of what was happening. And then from nowhere, someone slapped her. So you could see her eyes had turned red.
Sure, we showed those pictures earlier. So did it happen at
the... It was right in front of me, yes. Right in my presence.
And who slapped her?
We don't really know who did that. But some people are saying that there was some speculation that it was an accident. It wasn't really a deliberate attempt to assault her.
Okay. So you see this, you can see the pictures on the screen, and as you said, you don't even know who slapped her, whether they are citizens in that area or inhabitants of that area, whether they just trooped in to cause commotion at that particular polling station. So I think we have to leave this for the security service, or let's say the police to conduct a thorough investigation, and then when we get the report, we also transmit that to our viewers. So Kwefio has been on the grounds. You were at the Methodist
Church, Odopo, Police Station 1.
Well, that is one of the flashpoint areas, you know, anytime there is an election at Ablekuma North. And the other place was also DVLA, but I think today the place is actually calm.
A bit calm, yes.
Yes, DVLA Awoshi. The place is a bit calm. Well, he's come through with this report. He will be going back to the field, and maybe by that time, sorting and counting will be taking place, and we're going to feed our viewers with all the news and information from the grounds. But let's see whether we cross over to my colleague Hubu Kusum, whether she'll be ready to give us updates from where she is at this moment at the Ablekuma constituency. Good afternoon, Humu. Hello, Humu. Well, so we're still trying to establish contact with Humu. She is at the Ablekuma North constituency covering the parliamentary rerun election currently taking place. The exercise ends at 5 p.m. Then sorting, counting, and the declaration of the winner of the election will be announced. Let's see whether... Humu, are you on the line? Hello, Humu. Good afternoon, Humu. Hello, Humu.
This is GBC News, your all news channel. We're bringing you live feed from the rerun of the Ablekuma North constituency. The elections from 19 polling stations today will be added to the results from the December 7th elections to decide who leads the constituent at the parliamentary level and who represents them at the Parliament House going forward. You know, for the purposes of our viewers who have not been following our reports the entire day, these constituents have been neglected. In fact, they call themselves orphans. They've not had a father or a mother for the past 6 months, and they think that their choice from today's election will decide they are going forward. What are they going to stick with? Will they rather the face that they are known with all this time, at least since 1992, or will they want a fresh face to give them so much hope like they are not used to? We've been to polling stations around Awoshi, Kwashima, North Odoko, and currently we are here at the Presby Church at Odoko. Unlike other places, this place have a fewer number of registered voters of 112. At the last time we were talking to the presiding officer, Mr. Abdul Kadri, he did tell us that almost 95 individuals have already passed through to cast their vote. We do have a number of security officials here, but it looks like this place is calm. We hear activities have been at most peaceful and serene the entire day. With just few hours to the close of polls, it's possible, it's likely that voter turnout here, unlike other places, will be much higher than people were afraid of. We are going to try to get some of the constituents who have been casting their votes, who have been expressing their interest. You know, we've been speaking to some politicians from both divides. We've spoken to the youth coordinator of NDC, Mr. Malik Basintelli. We've had the former health minister, Mr. Bernard Okoboy, pass through. We even had a with the NDC chairman, Mr. Johnson Esiedu in Ketia, passing through in one of the polling stations that we were fortunate to visit. And we're still bringing you live. We do have a gentleman here. He did mention to us that he's not a voter at this particular polling station. We don't know whether he still votes. He's still a member of the Ablekuma North constituency. If he's not, he's going to tell us what he's doing here and why he has something to say concerning this particular rerun at Ablekuma North. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Tell us who you are, where you are coming from, and why we have you here dressed nicely here.
Good afternoon. My name is Senyor, a member of the NDC. I'm here to monitor proceedings of the rerun of the 19 police stations. The reason why I'm here today.
Okay. We do know that earlier on the NPP party executive decided that they were not going to take part in this particular rerun, but at the last minute, the candidate Nana Owusu-Afriyie decided to participate with the support of the grassroots. Do you think, especially with the fact that this is supposed to be the stronghold of the NDC, do you think that this last-minute decision of the NPP candidate is going to put some kind of fear in your candidate?
Not at all. Our candidates, well, I'm a member, like I said, of the NDC. Our candidate has been very resolute from the onset. Irab Nobin has gone through the mill. She stood the test of time. She's been with the people. She's been a constituent with the people here for some time. She represented us in the various levels. She stood for the elections. And it was only in our democratic drive that she's been crowned the winner of the elections in December. That didn't happen. The rerun by the Electoral Commission. The NPP has sought to boycott the elections, which they said they were never going to take part. But in the last minute of the days we saw, they decided that they were going to take part of the election. We are here to monitor the process. We are here to ensure that our candidate have now been crowned the victor of the elections today. She will win. She will represent the people. She will bring development to the people. This is what she's been clamoring for. She's development oriented. She's always want to be the people, lead them, and make sure she brings development to the people here. So the last minute touches of the MPP will not deter us. We are resolute, we are focused, and we know that come 7 p.m. this evening, Irab Nobin will crown the victor of the election.
When you talk of development, we've known the people in this particular constituency. They've stuck with NPP for so many years. When you are saying development, what kind of development are you looking for your candidate to bring to, especially the youth of this constituency?
You know, parliamentarians are going to the law, and then they are legislated. They have to go and make laws for our people. This constituency cannot be this. What happened? Unfortunately, that happened in South 4 years ago under the NPP. Under President John Mahama, democracy must come to play, must work. We are looking at the rule of law. We will not burden the people by not giving them representation in parliament. The reason why we are asking for a fair, free, and fair renewal of the 19 polling station. And so far, we've been here. We've seen the process have been very peaceful, has been very flawless. Everything is going on peacefully here. We want that seat determined today. The victor, which is going to be Irab Nobin today, that will go into that house. That will sit with other colleagues of the NDC on our side. They will make laws and bring a lot of development to the teeming youth who hasn't gotten jobs to do in the past 8 years. They will go, they will formulate all the laws and the policies. And I'm sure that she's got all her policies cut out for her. And when she gets to the house, she'll bring those things to bear on the ground. I'll bring them development on the floor.
Thank you very much. This is an NDC supporter. Obviously, he's going to say something that will sound sweet in the ears of the youth of this particular polling station and this particular constituency. But you see, the most important of this constituency are the youth. What are they looking for? What do they expect their next MP to bring to them as they try to choose who to represent them? Is it the NPP Nano Owusu Efriye that they are used to? Is it Madam Irabna Obin of NDC? That some people think that it's time for change. We'll talk to this young man. I'm sure he's a member of this constituency. He's going to tell us. You can speak Chi, you can speak English. He's going to tell us what they are looking out for. We don't care whoever you vote for, but as you are going there to vote, to abano then na wo hwehwe se nipa na obeye MP no ode be brem, especially mo am ye youth e wo constituency ha no.
Pacho e pesega on hwe youth ye na pacho ye pesega oba ye kwan na yesu ye to ade traffic no any the way traffic na say bibli traffic bibli say the be ye kwan ma ye na traffic no na ehia say the be ya yesu ye betimanya odo ya ma no na next time no etimabu tiamo ne biom say era muslims so say come to youth o mas camera krum kakra yesu ye honto yen kakra na say no nemo so boy dey ye intale ye se kwara nya yi nto onyo omuma na ble adwuma omuma adwuma so mla krum na nya adwuma ye na metimi.
Thank you very much. Some of them want the road. It looks like a lot of the youth in this particular constituency are so concerned about the deplorable nature of their roads. They want the roads to be reconstructed. They want jobs. They want cash in their pocket. In fact, I even want cash in my own pocket. They want cash in their pocket. They want jobs. They want everything that will make their life comfortable. That is why they are here to decide who to represent them in parliament. Abrante mi pacha your frau say Emmanuel mi pacha what to abawa hasi pacha what to abada
pacha me to abrekwa ba me to this
ente what to dada mi pacha wo kwa to abane den na wo hwehwe say nipa na obeye MP no obetimi aya ma wo enu nti a wo kwa to ma no
pacha abana go to them person to man say be you today one ya ho chire 2 months. Mr. Berries be 5 years in there. No improvement, no share. Oko hanuma MP ko okra wu no ko hanum ye say tama you to know high school na me ton me hwem certificate kuta wa quality one even your roadside near ton ade ye mo mi wo village nya travel bus city say be adwuma MP no hanum no omo mo yen you to know o so my stranded and now some are taking drugs according to ade o system ni mu ko unya mo bia okay what's much na wonya pani bi anko na nimu a unya you be also nya no street light na dia de ebo be 10 o'clock na be fie kura no let it uji hu na manyina. So you want the MP to just help us to get all these things so that it will help us to improve our life, because without you know no mu ni ho no mo so ni ho no ma you know no mo ka de be test Ghana no mu ya youth ho no mu ya wu a when they go to my MP no And I said, be a president, I'm going to be your mind. So they should care for us. So you care for them.
Thank you very much. You see, we've been to the churches, we've been to the ghetto, and it looks like the message from the youth, the plea from the youth is all the same everywhere we go. They want jobs, they want comfortable lives, they want opportunities, they want their life to be better off. So as they are picking their next MP, as they are deciding who to represent them at the legislature, they want somebody who will listen to them and listen to their plea and bring development and bring infrastructure and bring jobs to their communities and their homes, so that they will be able to also contribute into the lives of their younger ones and even their family members. You know, we've been to the ghettos, we've spoken to politicians, but people we haven't spoken to are the people who give us the food. In fact, if you eat beef and you know how enjoyable it is, you understand the importance of this madam in this particular constituency. Inti yanini ebe kasa kakrebi yebama ni obeka asamba kumienu kakrebi atreye na wa atreye adia enu nti ohwanka ni baby anase ni nuebi ana onu ankasa kra obetu aba no obehwe na odi yi MPB edi ama sa ekuro we mu mepa cha ubebo wudin amaye bo wudin maye
medini Teresa
Madam Teresa mipacha ende yenim se December obi ato aba mu akasa ni nneoma nkitinkitinti aba mo ntimi enyi mu MP sisi anu mu sa ato aba minim sa aba no wato dada sa wato da den na wo hwe se nipa na obeye MP no obeye ede ama mbobuo no ode ama maamefo te se wo ewo sa community we mu a wo no
mom dia me ho ane se ablabo na yadin afis nkola na ko school no so na mbetene fie 3 months na mo ko fie 2.5 months no ayati then na me fia impuntu nkola no nsem tabane pe ibin yamaye
nti sisi ana nipa na motu aba amano no so sisi ana nipa ni wini a den na opese otumi like opese eyo otumi ni mu kasa no hu mu hawo mo pese okwa parliament otumi kasa den na mo pese kwan men so na munya nka obefa so na nka ode ye nyoma mo pe ne ede ama mo wokro
mo wini wi amu mu ayen omuntu o na kransi ya bio omo pe mu ade amu nante ba ha omo wini a omo to mo ka mu ayen bio nti omo nyimpuntu bia amayen ha nti omo ba maye gota na da ha nso to a eyiri ye wan nti omo maye gota na mayen ana so no mpuntu amehwe na youthfo no so omo ye adwuma ye omo pe adwuma ma no mo ye mo bi adwuma ama youthfo no mo ye me de abọ me bra bayi nye badwuma kankan aka youthfo no on so mpa adwuma ma won so won ye
yeda asibebre so just here we just here at we are just here at Presby Church of Ghana here at Odoko, one of the polling stations here participating in the rerun of the elections. We have a counselor. She said she has something to tell us. So she's going to talk to us. She's going to tell us what she's looking out for the next MP of Ablekuma. Mami Pacha Yechiao.
Pacha Majoso.
Yeah, Pacha, and that year about to know and in a betchen you Obeko Parliament. Akokebi Amamu. Akoyebi Amamu. Nipana Obabaye MP. Then na mo shishe se Odibeba. Edi abasa Ablekuma Novo na ama abrabom aye easy ama mu ene mumba
ni ode baba ma yen sa obebo aye won potemu ho ye dwuma sam kwala na omo we school omo nya dwuma nye enti obaye bibia afa ho ama kwala no na omo so etumi enya dwuma aye na omo abahwe ye ma mefo no ama ye enti na ye bra na ye so ye to aba yi empi no manu esi
yeah, that's bebre. So definitely, you know, they want jobs, they want opportunities, they want better lives for them and their children. They say this, they have gotten what they want from life, but what is important to them is the future of the youth, is the future of their children, is the future of the younger ones that they have invested in. So we're still here, and we'll be wrapping up. We'll be keeping viewers updated of how the election will close by 5 p.m. and as and when the results comes in, we will bring viewers the full details of the results from here at Presby Church, Odoko Polling Station. My name is Humo Abdullahi. Back to you, studio.
You know, Humo was reporting from one of the constituencies at Ablekuma North, one of the polling stations at Ablekuma North, and she gave us kind of a brief on what has happened so far. Spoke to some of the voters who've gone to vote, and they were talking about what they're expecting from the new MP that will finally emerge the winner. So early today, we all saw this video that went viral. We saw a policeman actually slapping a journalist, a media personnel, and the police have reacted to that particular video. The Ghana Police Service says it has monitored a viral video in which one police officer is seen assaulting a reporter, according to a press release issued by the Public Affairs Directorate of the Ghana Police Service and signed by Assistant Superintendent of Police Richmond Mensah. The officer concerned has been withdrawn from the ongoing election duty at Ablekuma North, and in line with internal disciplinary procedures, the officer has been interdicted and referred to the Police Professional Standards Bureau for investigation. The police assured the public that thorough investigation will be conducted into the matter and further updates will be communicated. Still on the Ablekuma North Parliamentary rerun, my colleague John Guama Amano is also monitoring the voting exercise and is on the phone lines to give us an update. Hello, John.
Hi, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, so John, tell us, where are you currently and what is happening there?
Right, so I'm reporting currently from the Methodist Church, Odoko. Just if you are familiar with Odoko, Terrazzo is the closest landmark to this police station.
Okay, so what can you tell us? What is happening currently?
Well, so this is a police station that is plagued with so much controversy as far as the evasion of some tax and then, you know, on some persons that were present at this police station. And this evasion, this attack has resulted into some tensions that was very difficult to contain. One that had to, you know, let the IGP himself, Mr. Christian Yohuno, you know, himself to visit this police station to see the strategies that could be deployed to effectively manage the tension that was being created. But as I speak to you, it was a tension that the police the police was virtually overpowered by thugs. You know, and the crowd that has mounted at this police station is one that, as the, you know, Ghana Police Service keep beefing up security, those farmers are unable to contain this crowd. And so that has been the worrying situation, if you ask me, as far as this police station is concerned. And that has hampered, you know, voting. It's difficult to get people to come in, when voter apathy has plagued the whole, you know, electoral process as far as the 19 police station is concerned. Voter apathy is a common issue that we were dealing with before this thing happened. And I've been engaging with some other people who have gathered the courage to come in to vote. I was asking them what was going through them, the emotions, and they have to tell me that, well, they've been following on television, saw that the atmosphere is the one that they could risk it to you know, come and discharge their civic responsibility. But at a point, they heard in the news that the atmosphere is a bit calm, and that's why they had to come. But even while they were coming, they were afraid. A woman, you know, trader who, you know, had to take the risk to come and vote told me that she was afraid. But she needed to gather courage and do that. Only to finish the process and realize that, well, although the situation is dangerous, it's not as dangerous as she saw it in the news. And so that's by way of what is transpiring at these police stations. The Methodist Church at Odoko, Terrazzo, is concerned.
All right, John, so there might be chaotic situations or chaotic scenes, but then we are to inform and also educate and also entertain as journalists. So we are not supposed to project situations as if there's hellfire way. If you say the thugs have overpowered the police, I mean, sometimes we have to tone down. What are they thugs? How did you know they are thugs?
Right, so, some, you don't know the source, but they invaded the premise, and Madam Hawa Kunsi was present at this police station, and they invaded and assaulted her. But in an attempt to do that, there were defense to ensure that whatever was not expected was going to happen did not happen. But that, defense didn't work out. They were able to succeed in assaulting to some extent before, the situation was calm. The next thing has to do with the presence of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Ekuye, and then Brian Chapo, and also the Director for Communication for the New Patriotic Party visited this police station. And they came with a crowd, everybody wants to get close and hear what they have to say. And they wanted to enter the police station with that crowd. That was a very difficult, task for the police to contain. So just to paint a word picture of what the situation is.
Well, that's my colleague, John Guama. He's at one of the polling stations at Ablekuma North constituency, where a parliamentary rerun is currently underway. Polls closed at 5. There's been chaotic scenes that we've observed from a morning, and not to kind of deter voters from going to cast their ballots. We at GBC, we urging all eligible voters to go and cast their ballots as the time takes for polls to close at 5 p.m. You're still watching news live on GBC News and GTV. It's News Hour. We'll bring you details of what is happening on the grounds at Ablekuma North constituency as and when it happens. Now, shifting focus from the parliamentary rerun at Ablekuma North, let's take a story from the special representative of the Secretary General of the United Nations Office for West Africa at the Sahel, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers. He's observed that post-election violence remains a challenge to Ghana's democratic dispensation. This notwithstanding, he said, a cursory reading of the various reports on election by observer missions indicates that Ghana has good democratic credentials. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers made these statements at a post-2024 elections evaluation dialogue held in Koforidua in the Eastern region.
The dialogue was organized by the National Peace Council and its development partners. It was on the theme Dialoguing for a Stronger Democracy and Social Cohesion. Among other things, the dialogue served as a platform for participants to elevate, reflect, and most importantly, forge a common path forward. The chairman of the occasion, Most Reverend Emmanuel Kofi Fiano, expressed concern over lives that are lost as a result of electoral violence.
Despite commendable gains in democratic consolidation with peaceful transfer of power, judicial resolution of electoral disputes, and vibrant political pluralism, the persistence of election-related violence poses a serious threat to our national cohesion and democratic resilience.
A former special representative of the Secretary General of the United Nations for West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, who spoke via Zoom, outlined some measures that were put in place by the National Peace Council and their development partners to ensure a free, fair, and transparent elections.
Ghana once again demonstrated exemplary democratic credentials. The African Union commended, quote, the spirit of collaboration and patriotism among electoral officials, political party agents, the voters, and security personnel deployed to the polling stations as they work together, respecting their different roles, but ensuring a seamless and transparent voting and counting processes with the necessary checks and balances. End of quote.
A deputy special representative of the Secretary General of the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Ms. Barry Lane Freeman, underlined the indispensable role played by the National Population Council, adding that the dialogue offered a timely opportunity to reflect on the 2024 elections and chart a path for social cohesion.
The High Court in Accra is set to commence hearings in the $2 million SkyTrain scandal. During pre-trial proceedings on Wednesday, the presiding judge, Justice Comfort Tassima, announced July 23 as the official start date for the trial. This follows the withdrawal of a motion by lawyers for the second accused, Professor Christopher Ameyo-Ekumfi, who had earlier sought to have the charges against him dismissed. Provided for the withdrawal. Professor Ameyo-Ekumfi and former chief executive of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund GIF, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, are both facing trial for allegedly causing financial loss to the state in relation to the SkyTrain project. On Wednesday, July 9, 2025, lawyers for the former chairperson of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund GIF, Professor Christopher Ameyo-Ekumfi, were expected to move an application before the trial court to dismiss the case against him. They argued that the decision by the state to cite the former GIF chair was premature. However, during proceedings, the defense team withdrew the application without providing any explanation. The presiding judge, Justice Comfort Tassima, subsequently struck out the application, paving the way for the trial to commence on July 23. Meanwhile, the prosecution has indicated its intention to call 8 witnesses. These are Yaodame Dakwa, Kofi Boachi, Andrews Ejenim Boatin, Mami Fuachirewad Abebio, Yvonne Adolesowa, Trinibua Kodia, Cecilia Gambria, and Staff Officer Francis Abuaji. At an earlier hearing, the prosecution withdrew the witness statements of 4 individuals: Seth Nana Kwame Osei, Benjamin Nati Abrokwa, Reginald Okai, and Chief Inspector Kessie, and submitted a revised statement and new exhibits for Staff Officer Abuaji on June 3. Professor Ameyo-Ekumfi and the former GIF Chief Executive, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, were charged on May 13 with 6 counts, including conspiracy to commit crime, willfully causing financial loss to the Republic under the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, and intentional dissipation of public funds under the Public Property Protection Decree 1977 SMCD 140. Both pleaded not guilty and are currently on a bail under specified conditions. The charges stem from a $2 million payment allegedly authorized by Professor Ameyo-Ekumfi and Mr. Asamoah to African Investor Holdings Limited in February 2019 for the development of the Accra SkyTrain project, which was never executed. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Strem Sai stated that GIF failed to conduct adequate due diligence before disbursing the funds. The case resumes on July 23. The Ministry of Education has signed a memorandum of understanding with eLearning Africa in Accra, paving the way for closer cooperation ahead of the 2026 eLearning Africa Conference. This partnership underscores Ghana's commitment to advancing digital education and aligns with its broader vision of positioning the country as a regional hub for educational excellence and innovation.
This agreement reflects Ghana's broader national agenda to embrace innovation in education and strengthen Ghana's leadership in the digital learning space, the continent's premier platform for educational innovation. Under the agreement, both parties will collaborate closely to ensure the successful planning and execution of the upcoming conference while promoting initiatives that enhance access to quality education through digital transformation. Despite persistent challenges such as limited internet connectivity and underdeveloped digital infrastructure, the partnership demonstrates a strong commitment to transforming education in Ghana. The Deputy Minister for Education, Mr. Clement Apak, affirmed Ghana's readiness to host the continent's premier digital education conference and emphasized government's commitment to utilizing technology to enhance learning outcomes.
10,000 to over 15,000 public schools, reaching 2 million primary school children and training 64,000 teachers. These are not just aspirational numbers. They are our commitment to measurable impact in every corner of Ghana.
The founder and CEO of eLearning Africa, Madam Rebecca Stromeyer, praised Ghana's efforts in embracing digital education and called for sustained collaboration.
We bring different types of stakeholders from higher education institutions, schools associations, but also the private sector, also the IGOs, government sectors, who will all come here and convene under one roof over 3 days to showcase what they are doing, to engage with what Ghana is doing, and to move this field ahead as people tend to learn from other people's examples, experiences, and it's about knowledge sharing and about best practice sharing.
Ghana will be welcoming delegates from Africa from the 3rd to the 5th of June 2026 for the 18th edition of eLearning Africa.
The president of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, Napuele Kabo, has urged the Northern Development Authority to complete the numerous abandoned projects the authority initiated in northern Ghana. Kabo said completing those projects will impact the lives of the people positively and enhance the visibility of the authority. Kabo made the appeal when the new chief executive of the Northern Development Authority, Dr. Emmanuel Bredinga, called on him at Laura.
The newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the Northern Development Authority, NDA, Dr. Emmanuel Abiri Inga, alongside his acting deputy Hajia Jamila Ibrahim, visited the paramount chief of Laura, Napuele Kabo, to formally introduce themselves. They appealed for the chief's collaboration in fulfilling the authority's mandate of bridging the development gap between southern and northern Ghana. Dr. Abiri Inga emphasized the pivotal role of traditional leaders in driving progress, noting that while the NDA's mission is vital to northern development, its success hinges on strong local support and partnerships.
The president almost scrapped the Northern Development Authority because we have seen that over the past 16 years, we don't see nothing fruitful has come out of it. But he has now given us a last opportunity to see whether we can get that idea to work. Luckily enough, you are the president of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs. If there is an opportunity for the House of Chiefs to sit and we come and engage, so that together we will reinvigorate and start the agenda for the accelerated development of northern Ghana.
The president of the Regional House of Chiefs, Napuele Kabo, pledged the unwavering support of traditional authorities towards the successful execution of the Northern Development Authority's mandate.
I'm sure previous development authorities have started certain projects. I think that you should review them thoroughly and then probably refocus them, particularly the many in the Upper West, the electricity projects, the schools that you have started. We want you to look at them critically.
Dr. Abiri Inga also paid courtesy calls on the regional minister, Mr. Charles Luanga Posen, and the overlord of the Wala traditional area, Naf Hussein Pelpo. During the engagement, Mr. Posen proposed a development plan recommending at least one strategic investment each year to accelerate growth across northern Ghana.
At least if every year some major investment is done which benefits all the 5 northern regions, just as you cited agriculture, you get something big for agric, we are good to go.
Swala Abdul Wahab, GBC News.
Newly inducted pharmacists have been reminded of their critical roles in the fight against opioid abuse and misuse in the country. They were also advised not to shy away from the task of the profession, serving the public in integrity, professionalism, and compassion.
In all, 630 registered pharmacists were inducted, having completed a 6-year doctoral in pharmacy training. Of the number, 284 were females and 346 males from 6 accredited pharmacy schools in the country. Others also trained abroad. Even though they have been enrolled into the Pharmacy Council Provisional Register by virtue of the induction, they do not assume full professional rights until they have completed a 12-month housemanship at accredited health facilities under the supervision of accredited preceptors. The president of the Pharmaceutical Society, Dr. Samuel Donko, appealed to the Minister for Health to obtain financial clearance for pharmacists to be employed, since universal health coverage includes universal pharmaceutical care.
I just want to highlight how important it is for us to get a financial clearance for these young pharmacists, the 641 who have qualified and are sitting at home. Go through 6 years of training and be at home at the same time when the nation needs their services. There's so many hospitals and institutions that need the services of these young ones. And therefore, Honorable Minister, we would plead with you to expedite the action. We would therefore plead with you, do everything you can to ensure that at least we get to the employment of 1,000 pharmacists.
The Minister for Health, Mr. Kwabena Mintah Kando, tasked the pharmacists to discharge their duties ethically and join in the fight against opioids.
It is a public knowledge that there are pharmacists who will use their certificates to register or establish pharmacy shops, and they will never be there. In some cases, they may even never know where the pharmacy shops are. This is unethical. With the greatest deal of respect, let us desist from that. The fight against opioids, I know, is closely related to everyone here. You know a friend who is abusing opioids or a relative, and one person cannot fight that fight and succeed. We must all come together, especially as pharmacists, to fight this. We have communicated per the laws of this country that apart from Kotoka International Airport and Tema Harbour, you cannot bring any medicine whatsoever into the country at any of our borders. And our security agencies have clear instructions to seize any product, whether it is registered or not. Once it is entering at the wrong place, it must be confiscated.
The newly inducted pharmacists were implored to engage in continuous professional development as a commitment to excellence. They were also advised to shift from being product-centered to being patient-centered pharmacists in response to the evolving needs of the profession. Sarah Fori, GBC News, Accra.
The 4th edition of the International Maritime Defense Exhibition and Conference concluded in Accra after 2 days of high-level engagement. The event brought together naval leaders and Coast Guard representatives from around the world to explore strategies for securing maritime operations across Africa. The Chief of Defense Staff, Major General William Ajipon, emphasized the need for enhanced collaboration to protect the region's marine domain.
A key outcome of the 4th International Maritime Defense Exhibition and Conference was a strong advocacy for modular, cost-efficient naval platforms and cyber-resilient systems designed to counter evolving maritime threats and sustain advanced assets across African nations. Delegates further proposed the establishment of an Atlantic Maritime Fusion Center, which would integrate Yaounde's architecture zones with other regional maritime command hubs. This is to strengthen surveillance and coordinated threat response across African waters. The Chief of Defense Staff, Major General William Ajipon, called for deeper collaboration to safeguard Africa's marine economy.
Your encouragement in the panel discussions, bilateral meetings, and exhibitions has also enriched our collective understanding and fostered connections that will strengthen our maritime security architecture moving forward. Let us continue to deepen our partnerships, sustain our investments in technology, and align our strategies towards a safer, more secure, and more prosperous African maritime domain.
The two-day conference held in Accra convened over 200 naval chiefs from approximately 25 countries across Africa and beyond. It also featured emerging technologies essential for enhancing maritime security. The Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Godwin Levinus Besson, expressed enthusiasm over the success and impact of the event.
We're looking for how we'll be able to integrate technology into our maritime operations. And as you saw during the exhibition, a lot of companies in the maritime industry exhibited various types of solutions that could aid us in our work. Particularly in our situation where we have a lack of platforms, sometimes it is only the integration and leveraging technology that could fill in these gaps.
The closing day focused on addressing illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, a pressing issue affecting the continent's maritime sustainability and economic prospects.
Time for business. The economy needs to be structured towards an increase in local content in all sectors. The Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, who made the said statements, believes using more local raw materials for production is fundamental to the success of Ghana's 24-hour economic policy.
One of the visions for the mining sector is leveraging on that local content to move from local content where some of the things are imported by Ghanaians and are sold to the point where we use the mining sector as growth poles to start some other industries. So a typical example, if you take a product that is used extensively in the mining sector, it's called activated carbon, and it's made out of coconut, and that's a $40 million annual budget for us alone. Is that something we can leverage on as a growth pool to be able to start producing that locally here? And it will start from the coconut farm all the way up to the point where you are producing activated carbon. And in that process, instead of people going to do galamsey and maybe get maybe $6,000 per an acre from that galamsey site and destroy it completely, you can get people planting coconut to feed the activated carbon market, and they get $4,000 in the third and fourth year for 40 years. So you then will provide jobs all the way from that particular point, and so you would have used the mining sector to be able to do that.
To drive inclusive development across Ghana, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center has launched a nationwide mapping project to identify and promote bankable investment opportunities in all 261 districts. The initiative, backed by the Ministry of Trade and the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, aims to boost both local and foreign direct investment and unlock new engines of growth from the ground up of the Ghanaian economy.
According to the World Bank's 2024 economic update, Ghana's uneven investment distribution continues to deepen regional disparities, with Greater Accra and Ashanti alone accounting for over 70% of registered investment projects. Under the IOMP, GIPC will work with regional ministers, MMDCEs, and traditional authorities to identify and promote projects in agribusiness, tourism, manufacturing and infrastructure. These profiles will be made accessible on a national investment portal and distributed through Ghana's diplomatic missions abroad as part of the Ghana Diplomatic Investment Drive. The Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, says the goal is to reposition Ghana's districts as credible destinations for capital. She noted that local governments will now have the tools to pitch well-prepared, high-impact projects to both domestic and international investors, opening new doors for industrial expansion and job creation across the country.
Many regions and districts have yet to fully realize their potential, not necessarily due to a lack of resources or viable ideas, but often because of limited visibility, inadequate data, and low investor confidence.
The Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Deborah, called it a new era of inclusive investment, adding that no Ghanaian should be left out of the country's growth story due to geographical reasons. Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Simon Majid, says the mapping project is designed to raise visibility for underrepresented regions and also support Ghanaian investors looking for credible opportunities within their own district.
The overall objective is for us as a country to have a single source to go to if you want to understand opportunities that are in this country. Every other country, if you go, there are places that you go to for them to give you the opportunities they have. So there are priority areas, but then there are also opportunities in regions, in districts, which we may not know of unless we go out and find it and market it and have it data-driven.
With foreign direct investment inflows to Ghana falling to $649 million in 2023 from over $1 billion in 2021, the center believes tools like the IOMP will help reverse the trend and increase both FDI and local direct investment, LDI. The project includes flagship developments such as the Volta Economic Corridor, Legon Pharmaceutical Innovation Park, and Kumasi Machinery and Technology Park.
Still in business, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, has launched the 7th edition of its Ghana Social Development Outlook Report, an evidence-based publication aimed at shaping inclusive and impactful policy decisions.
Since its inception in 2012, the biennial report has served as a critical resource for policymakers, academics, and development partners. The 2024 edition spans 11 chapters and covers key sectors including education, health, housing, employment, gender, governance, and the environment. Over 65% of Ghana's workforce is in the informal sector, yet many young people struggle to find decent jobs. ISE Director Professor Peter Quarty emphasized the report's role in addressing Ghana's pressing challenges, among them youth unemployment and digital economy, and the country's widening housing deficit of 1.8 million units.
I think we should integrate the private sector and ensure that we also provide some sustainable process. So it's not just about giving somebody employment for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But when they have finished the 3 years, what is the next level? There should be some orientation, training, preparation to be integrated into mainstream employment. And when you deal with the private sector, some will be absorbed in the private sector, others will be absorbed in the public sector.
From just 6.7 million in 1960, Ghana's population is now over 33 million. Projections suggest it will exceed 40 million by 2030. These numbers have huge implications for planning and infrastructure. Head of ISES Social Division, Dr. Martha Awo, provided a detailed sectorial analysis of the reports, urging policymakers to act swiftly on issues of sustainability, equity, and governance.
Now, with the findings, two sets of factors create high youth unemployment, lack of training, fit for the job market, and insufficient employment opportunities. Government programs such as the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program and the Youth in Agriculture programs offer training modules, while others like the Nation Builders Corps focus exclusively on job placements.
Executive Director of the Institute for Democratic Governance, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, praised the 2024 outlook as both a diagnostic tool and a call to action for Ghana's future. With forward-looking recommendations and updated data across sectors, the Ghana Socio-Economic Outlook 2024 is expected to serve as a critical guide in Ghana's journey towards inclusive growth and socio-economic transformation.
Let's now have the performance of the local currency on the forex market. In international news, the United States has announced sweeping changes to its non-immigrant visa policy for Cameroon, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Nigeria, citing the duration and conditions under which most travelers from those countries can enter.
The U.S. has limited most visas for citizens of Nigeria, Cameroon, and Ethiopia to single-entry, 3-month validity, citing a global reciprocity realignment. Nigeria rejected the claim, stating it still grants 5-year multiple visas to Americans. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga called the U.S.'s move disproportionate and warned it could affect cultural and educational ties. Ghana, which has issued over 28,000 multiple entry visas to Americans this year, also criticized the change. The U.S. cited concerns over visa overstays, secured travel documents, and data sharing. Stricter visa bans have already been imposed on countries like Eritrea and Somalia. Some observers link the move to Nigeria's growing ties with BRICS, while others view it as a standard adjustment. Nigerian officials have urged reconsideration, fearing a drop in U.S. visa approvals under Trump's immigration stance.
Sports, the technical handlers of the senior national table tennis team, the Black Loopers, have announced their squad for the upcoming West Africa Regional Championships, scheduled to take place in Nigeria from July 16 to 19, 2025.
The high-stakes competition will see top players from across the West Africa sub-region battle it out for qualifying slots to the 2025 Africa Table Tennis Championships in Rwanda. The Ghana Table Tennis Association has released a 10-man provisional squad showcasing a blend of seasoned and rising talent. The men's team includes Emmanuel Kombe, Israel Akli, James Marfo, Francis Entry, and Godwin Alabi. The women's team has Cynthia Kwabi, Celia Badanto, Bernice Bolkwei, Eva Adom Amankwa, and Hilda Aguta. Officials say the selected players have shown consistency in both domestic competitions and previous international competitions. The team will be under the guidance of coach David Senyo Ahiaba, a familiar face in Ghana table tennis circuit, with coach Eva Ampa stepping in as assistant coach and leading the women's team. The GTTA is optimistic that with the current momentum and investment in the sport, Ghana can make a strong impression on the continental stage.
The 2025-2026 Beach Soccer Premier League kicks off on Saturday, August 23, 2025.
The matches will be held at 4 league centers: the Adam Beach Soccer Arena, the Keita Beach Soccer Arena, the Laboma Beach Resort Atla, and the Cheetah Beach Soccer Arena at Senya in the Central Region. A total of 14 Beach Soccer Premier League clubs have been divided into 2 competitive zones and will battle for supremacy and the chance to be crowned champions. The competition promises high-intensity action following an impressive 2024 season that saw Vegemite Warriors FC claim the championship title after a resounding 5-2 victory over Layoka in the grand finale. The defending champions are expected to face strong challenges this season as clubs across both zones prepare to make their. The Beach Soccer Premier League continues to grow, drawing increased attention and participation each season.
And that's all by way of news for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back at 7 with more news, but stay on GBC News and ETV, as we'll soon go back to the Ablekuma North constituency and bring you more coverage of the parliamentary rerun there. So look, it's here right on GBC News and GTV. I'm Siyoko Kwakuche. Have a splendid afternoon.